YouTube, Incendar here. Update today. I was working on a website I previously did a couple months ago to help me out with a lot of stuff in Black Desert. I updated this tool, so I'm going to get through that today. This will really help out life skillers, cooks, anyone with workers, but also how to optimize contribution spending in cities. Tons of cooking recipes, where to use cooking ingredients, and a lot more stuff. So I will pull that up so you can see the website here and all the new stuff I recently got time to add. Before I had it where it was just a node resource, and you would just have this drop down menu, and for some reason this isn't showing in the video. I don't know why, but you click here and you pick what resource you want, and then it tells you what region, how much CP it costs, and it shows you everything you can get. Like, alright, I looked up ash sap. This is where I can find ash timber and ash sap. But you can search, for whatever. It has all the items. A few are missing from Valencia, but I can't update this whenever. If something's missing, you can just leave a comment. So say I wanted to look for fir timber. It just pulls up all the nodes and where to find them and what region. Let's see if I can pull up pine timber here for battleships and whatnot. But anyway, this was a really great tool. I built this a couple months ago, and I just stopped and didn't really do anything else, and I always wanted to add some more stuff. So luckily I had some people from YouTube submit some databases to me and help me out on this. Ransnath helped me out a lot on the cooking. I'll go through these real quick though so you can get an idea of what you can do here. Alright, the second one is house usage, and you can see armor workshop pulled up. And this will show all the armor workshops, what city and region. But if you use this third tab, you can actually look for what level you want. So if you want to build the best stuff, you can just go for max level 5. And it's going to show you where all the armor workshops are. So we can see we got them in Kaplan, Calpheon, Altanova, and Glish. But we can also see how much the total CP cost for each one is. So we can see this one in Altanova only costs 11 total CP to get a number 5. So this, this can really optimize the way you have everything set up with your contribution. I just had to rework everything. I actually reworked the houses I lived in after using this tool. But let me get back to here for a second. You can actually set up the armor workshop in Altanova and then send workers from anywhere else to that location. It takes a little more time, but you're going to save CP, which is the important thing. Now, you can't see this drop-down menu because it's not recording for some reason, but it has pretty much everything you'd ever want to look for. Alright, so I picked lodging. This is for workers, of course, and it pulls up everything. But if you want to look for a shipyard, this will quickly pull up where all the shipyards are. If you need a level 2 shipyard in Calpheon, you just pick the 3 things and it'll show exactly where to find those shipyards. Let me put this Calpheon level 2. You can see it's only in Etheria port. So I'll put this link in the description, and hopefully it'll show up here on YouTube so you can start using this. But you can find pretty much any building you want. And let's try costume mill real quick. See, now I can pull up the costume mills and look at the total CP cost. And I can see the one here in Calpheon on Market Street only takes 7, where the other ones take 8 and 9. So I can save, 2 contribution points there. This tool is really awesome. I'm really glad I finally got it put together, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. I'm going to go through this pretty quick here, but on the third one, I wanted something where, well, actually a couple people asked, how many workers can you have, and what's the best way to get workers versus CP. So I made this really quick. This doesn't include Valencia because I've still got to get that data, but it includes all the other regions. So you can see this will list 222 workers. So it is possible to have 300 or more workers, but you can see the total CP cost just to have lodging for this many workers is at least unrealistic right now. But the cool thing here is you'll notice on the ratio, it actually shows you how much CP you're spending per worker. So what you can do is like, all right, I look at this first one, Ilia Island. It costs 1 CP to get, and you can have 1 worker, so the ratio is 1 to 1. Where this next one is going to cost you 3 CP, and you only get 1 worker, so the ratio is 0.33, which is terrible. So this can really help you out optimize your workers and where to put them. And I did find some interesting things. This drop down, you can actually pick whatever home city. So I'm just going to do Velia. And this is another thing that is a lot of people don't know and can really help out. You can actually set up small cities with lodging that go to your main city. And let me just pull up the game real quick to show you a little example of this. And this is just one example. This web page will show you them all though. Like, all right, I got Velia. You can have lodging in Velia, like right here. But outside of Velia, there'll be little towns like, all right, here's Tuscany Farm. And you'll notice in here, you can have a lodging too for 2 workers. And those 2 workers don't stay there. They actually work in Velia. And these things are all over the place. And this will now show you exactly where that is. So in the case of Velia here, for our example, we can see you can have a total amount of workers at this place, 8. Total CP cost is 9, so the ratio is 0.89, which means really good worker ratio to contribution points. And you can see it shows the 3 that are in Velia and then the 1 that's in Tuscany Farm. So I put this together and I kind of, you know, I have a huge worker network set up as is, so I thought I really knew what I was doing, but it turns out that, you know, a couple of these things are just really weird. Like Alvia, for example, like I had no idea you could have 16 workers here. I don't know if it was just an oversight or they added something new to the game or lodging, but you can see you can have 16 workers here at 21 contribution cost. At the bottom here, you'll see Whale Farm actually is an additional one that goes to Velia. And the way to look at this is it'll say location, Whale Farm, and then city is where the actual worker will work. So he lives in Whale Farm, works in Olivia. But you can see here, I mean, 16 workers in there is pretty good. And you can also see the ratio overall is pretty good. The more interesting thing was the larger cities, like Heidel is the one I have up right now. You can see Costa Farm has 1 worker, but 0.33 ratio. Total workers in Heidel, you can have 28. But look at the ratio, 0.68. Kind of lower, right? And then if you go to like, I don't know, Altanova, you can mess around with this and try all the different cities. The ratio on this one's pretty crazy, right? 0.58. I mean, that's really low. Calphion, 0.49. But you can actually go through here and just look at the far right column and go for the higher number, the better. And you look, you know, whatever's going to get the most for your contribution. I think there's a couple in here that actually can hold 8 workers too. I might have to add that option so you can look at the level too. Yeah, like down here. This one in Heidel City, 8 workers, 8 contribution for 1. But anyway, I think this will really help anybody out that needs to optimize their workers, or at least if you're just starting out, just go with the ones with the high ratio here. The higher the number, the better. And you can easily get your worker network set up. And if you've got already 100 workers, this is definitely a great way to optimize it. So next one we got is cooking ingredients. This is all still a work in progress in beta, so I really appreciate any comments. But also, if you have any other databases or data you think should be in here, like maybe something with trading or training or fishing or something, yeah, I'll be more than happy to add it to here and give you credit. The cooking databases I got from Raznath, and this is a really cool tool. I just have it defaulted here to starch, and you can read starch as cereals, basically potato, corn, barley, sweet potato, or wheat. So I can look down here, and just by selecting starch, it's going to show me beer, of course, but everything that uses starches. And then it shows all the different ingredients and everything. I'm going to figure out a way to make this look a little easier on the eyes, but you know, this is a beta and we're just getting there. So, but you can also go up here and select any item that you have. I just select beer. It shows what beer is used in. All right, choosing dough. You can see all the recipes here. So you just take, you know, if you have, well, that's a good example, right? If you have, for some reason, 120,000 chicken meat, you can see that bird meat equals chicken, flamingo, and cuckoo. I picked that, and now this is one way to find, for instance, steamed bird, which I've been making like crazy. It just pulls up the recipe here. So I think this is really going to help cooking out, and there might be some mistakes or something in there, and I'm going to try to work on that, and then I'm going to probably add alchemy to this too, and then show, you know, what level you can use reduced materials That's going to be a little longer for me to work on, but hopefully I'll get that out to help alchemists too. The next one, we got cooking again. This one, though, you just pick, all right, beehive cookie I'm going to choose here. You can just go by any recipe. So if you see something on the marketplace that is always sold out and you're thinking about signing, all right, let's say beehive cookies. You can just look here and it tells me how to make them. And of course, another really good one, Serendia meal. Just going to pick that one, and it shows pretty much everything in it. Most of this should be accurate. Obviously, I got to go through it a little more, but so far so good. And then the last tab here, I'm still kind of working on this, processing XP, and this will show you how much XP you get for every different thing you're processing. And this really helps out when you're trying to get your processing level up quickly. I did a video a while ago on how to power level processing using flax, wool, and cotton. And you can see these three, yeah, they're giving 1,000 per craft, which is great. The other interesting thing to know about this is as your processing gets up and you make, let's say, I don't know, pine plank, or yeah, you make a pine plank. So you're taking pine timber and you're making pine planks. You'll get 200 for when you make the pine plank. But if you skip up and make a pine plywood, you'll get 500. So you can make both those at the same time when you're processing. So you get the 200 plus the 500 for 700 experience. But this will really help you out too. I mean, you can pick, if you want to look at chopping for all the different timbers, how much experience, drying. So this will help processors out too. I am going to probably add more features to this and keep growing on this. Feedback, whatever you can think of can help me out too. I'll keep trying to develop this, and I will eventually put this as an app on like iTunes and Google and Amazon, and I'll do a video whenever I get that done. But this is still beta and I'm still working on it, so I think this is going to help you out though. Mess around with it and give feedback. Subscribe so you can see any new notifications when I put something new out. And thanks a lot to everybody for watching. And again, thanks for everybody that's been sending me the data to put in here, and Raznath for cooking. Thanks a lot.